to you by McMenamin's Pubs and Breweries, your neighborhood place for family and friends. Now with 2 pubs in Corvallis, your Northwest Dodge dealer. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. Regents. We are all connected and 1,000 strong. Regents. Together, we can take charge. The dairy farmers of Oregon say, check your fridge. Got milk? Safety of all-wheel drive standard. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Reese's. With Reese's, you've got it made. Now, here's the voice of the Beavers, Mike Parker.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Beaver Sports Talk for this Tuesday night at McMenamin's on Monroe. We're here until 8 o'clock, and we do it every Tuesday night throughout the fall and winter sports seasons. And we look forward to your participation in the show tonight via the Dutch Bros Sports Line, toll-free. Along the way, if you have any questions or comments for our guests, and we'll be visiting with Sherina Galvan from the OSU softball team here in a moment, this week's everyday champion, Oregon State men's head coach Jay John, as the Beavers get ready for their final home games against the Washington schools this Thursday and Saturday. And we'll wrap up the show with OSU women's basketball coach LaVonda Wagner, who will look back at the last homestand for Casey Nash and Ebony Young and the OSU women's basketball team at home this past weekend against the Bay Area schools, and they get ready to head north to take on the Washington schools this weekend. That's all coming up tonight. We certainly encourage you to join us via the Dutch Bros Sports Line or here at McMenamin's. The toll-free number is 877-600-6433, 877-600-6433. And just a reminder, Thursday night when the OSU men's basketball team takes on the Washington Huskies, and we'll preview that with Coach John in a few minutes, the first 1,000 fans for the 6 o'clock game will get free rally towels to wave and intimidate the dogs with throughout the night, as we certainly look forward to a great atmosphere for the next to the last home game, and then 9th-ranked Washington State at Gill Coliseum Saturday at 5 o'clock. Coming up first tonight on Beaver Sports Talk, as always, we will welcome, after our first break, from the 7th-ranked Oregon State softball team, starting third baseman senior Sherina Galvan. She will share her thoughts about the start of the season as the Beavers get ready to head to Palm Springs for a tournament they host annually. That's this weekend. We'll talk to Sherina here in a few minutes. It's great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us at McMenamin's on Beaver Nation Online and all along the Beaver Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to Beaver Sports Talk on the Beaver Sports Radio Network, on Beaver Nation Online, and here at McMenamins on Monroe across from the OSU campus. And as we do every Tuesday night, we open the show by welcoming this week's everyday champion from OSU Athletics. Target would like to congratulate this week's everyday champion. As a company structured entirely of teams, Target understands the importance of every team member, both on and off the field. Target is a proud partner with OSU Athletics. And with Target and with Beaver Nation here at McMenamins, it's our pleasure to welcome the starting third baseman on the 7th-ranked softball team in the country from the Oregon State Beavers, Sherina Galvan, as this week's everyday champion. Good evening, Sherina.
Good evening.
Thanks for joining us, and congratulations on being an everyday champion, which encompasses not only what you do as a student athlete, but the student part of it, which we want to talk about here in a moment, as well as community involvement. But let's start a little bit with your sport and the season so far, coming off the trip to the College World Series and off to a good start at 6-2 with the Palm Springs tournament this weekend. How would you say things are going so far for the team, and things that are going well, maybe things you hope to do better this weekend?
I think definitely this year we're trying to find ourselves. We have 7 freshmen this year, so we're kind of getting a feel of everyone, seeing how our habits and what we need to work on as a team as we go into the season, and our strengths and our weaknesses. That way we could progress during the season.
How's your own game going? I mean, starting third baseman, senior year, how do you feel your game's coming along offensively, defensively so far?
Definitely being my senior year, it's a totally different, feeling and atmosphere. You just want to go out and give it your all. It's your last year, and it's a totally different feeling. So things are going really well. I feel like I've learned a lot throughout the years, and I have the experience to back me up. So I definitely feel really strong this year.
That's good to hear. Let's find out a little bit about you from Moreno Valley High School in Riverside County. So that makes it a pretty easy road trip this weekend for your family to come over for the Palm Springs Classic. But how did you find your way to Oregon State? How did that happen?
Definitely just the recruiting process, going out playing travel ball every weekend, weekend after weekend, having the coaches come out and watch me play, and having the opportunity to come out and visit campus and see what a great atmosphere it is here, and also the girls that were here. So that definitely brought me in, and I was really interested in coming here, and just the whole family aspect of the team, and that was a really great feeling for me.
You were telling me you took a visit to Long Beach State, which would have been closer to home, obviously. But after visiting here, you canceled a trip to Ohio State just because you were convinced this is where you were going to be. Any regret about not at least visiting Columbus, or are you glad you made that decision?
I've gotten a lot of, feedback from that. Why didn't you at least go to the football game at Ohio State?
Right.
But after my trip here, definitely I knew it was the right fit for me. Just, especially the most important thing I was looking for was the team, because I knew I was going to be around them all the time, spending day after day after day. So after seeing the team, seeing the coaches, and that whole aspect, I was definitely encouraged to come here, and it was definitely a spot for me.
Sherina Galvan from the OSU softball team, starting third baseman, our everyday champion. Jay John and LaVonda Wagner still to come tonight here on Beaver Sports Talk. Got to ask you, you used the phrase travel ball, and in reading your biography, you have only played one sport really in your life on an organized level, and it's been softball. How early does travel ball start? When did you start playing, and when did you know this is my sport and my only sport?
Yeah, definitely around the age of 8, around there 10, you start playing travel ball, and it gets competitive, or it's weekend after weekend you're going out traveling different cities, different states, and just the competition that you feel. And just, I knew it was the right fit for me, just like coming here. It was something that I love to do. And my parents never forced it upon me. It was, always my choice and my decision whether I was going to play or not.
And that's good to hear you say that. And that you didn't feel like, okay, now you've got to specialize in one thing. You need to find an avenue for a scholarship. There was not that at all. It was just your own personal choice. You just love softball and wanted to devote all of your time that you could to it?
Definitely. I mean, it was something that I loved to do, even though it took up a lot of time and I had to miss a lot of things with my family and my friends, and but I also enjoyed the game and I loved playing it, and that was my parents always stress that if it's what you love to do, we're not going to make you do it. And if it's something that you enjoy, then go out and do it and just do your best. So.
Sherina, we appreciate you taking time for us. Last thing, and that is, after you're done with your playing career, tell us what you have in mind for a career.
Definitely, I want to move back home, and start my master's program in teaching, get my credentials, and definitely just, apply to different elementary schools back in my hometown. And my mother is also a teacher, so that has gotten me into the aspect, and it's something that I've wanted to do for a really long time. So I'll start my, way through that. After softball is done, I'll have, my time to go to school and just be a student rather than a student athlete. So I definitely want to get that done, get my master's completed, and definitely start teaching.
And be a teacher with young kids, right? I mean, you want to work with elementary, and that's a noble calling, a noble profession. Sherina, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations to Sherina Galvan, this week's Everyday Champion. We'll be back with Oregon State men's basketball coach Jay John as Beaver Sports Talk continues from McMenamins on the Beaver Sports Network.